Yes, yes, yes.
Hi, Shri.
Hello. Aloha.
I think you're so incredible.
Thanks. I think you're pretty amazing also. Looking forward to your conversations today.
Yeah, me too. Me too. I feel like, should we just warm them up a little bit? You and
Yeah.
me? Yeah, I feel like I'm just super excited to be alive right now.
Who's excited to be alive out there?
Yeah.
Are you excited to be alive?
I think
Me
it's a radical thing, and what I'm actually really excited. One of our next guests in our interview series is that she came into my life, and that's how she came in. Beautiful, powerful Black woman working at the intersection of transformation and activism, and like really doing this beautiful work. And we were doing this check-in, and she was just like, everybody was saying how they're doing it. Almost like 25 people, 24 of them were like, kind of rough. It's been rough. Like, this is a hard time. This woman comes on, she's like, I'm fucking fantastic. I'm so excited to be alive. And ever since then, I'm just like, yeah, let's do it that way. You've said this to me also. So that's my feeling coming onto this call is just gratitude and enthusiasm.
I love that. It takes a nice threat to gain more appreciation.
Yeah.
When a part of your body is being threatened, then you're like like if you break an arm or something, when you get your arm back, it's like, oh my god, I got an arm. I love arms. I love all the arms in the world. You're able to kind of lean in a little bit more. So.
Mm-hmm. It reminds me also of what we were talking about yesterday, which is a nice thread to bring in. We've been doing these lives in June. Our theme for our Wednesday lives is movies with a message. And yesterday we unpacked Hook. This scene from like old school kids movies from when we were young. This scene where Peter, as an adult, is sitting at the feasting table with all the Lost Boys and can't eat, like can't see the food. They're like all like making it look so good, and he's so hungry, and it's like the contrast is getting turned up. And then the contrast turns up even more when Rufio starts attacking him. And it's just like, that was one of the biggest takeaways from that conversation, is that the contrast is what catalyzes change.
Yeah.
It's so valuable. I want to go back in time and like whisper that to my 20-year-old self and my 30-year-old self and my 35-year-old self. Like,
right? Yeah.
Trust the contrast. It is catalyzing the change you are here for.
I love that. I like the idea of going back also.
Yeah.
Because once you know, then you know. You don't actually have to experience the contrast all the time.
Yep.
If you know, you just do the thing. And so beautiful, beautiful.
Yeah. So let's turn up the contrast here. See how we can transform together.
Let's do it. Let's turn up the love. Let's turn up the contrast. All the people watching right now, shoot a message. Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. Let us know that you are here.
Yeah, we like to know you're here. I like to know what's landing.
Should we start with our first question?
Let's do it.
Awesomeness. Let's go with Rachel.
You mean Rochelle?
Rochelle. Why do I always do that? It's so annoying. Shikala is Rochelle. Rochelle. I see it in my third eye. I see it plastered everywhere around me. Rochelle. I see shells from the ocean. All right, I got it.
Hang on. I think you're doing that actually so that she can update her name. Include her handle.
True.
So
updating your name.
Just keep chanting her name while she updates her handle.
I don't know if you can do that once you're already in.
Oh, maybe not. Okay, well then we move on.
Welcome, Rochelle.
Yeah, girl.
Hello.
Hello.
Thank you, Shri. I really liked the Rochelle chant that you had going on there.
Yeah,
It was,
I really had
it
to
was
imbibe
great.
it. I had to like,
I should record it next time. I'm just gonna wake up like that every day.
nice.
Yes.
Awesome. Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye, Shri. Hi, Rochelle.
I'm so sorry. As soon as Shri
Tell us your handle right now.
My handle is RB as in boy EAZ07. So RBs07.
Great. Beautiful. So how can I help you today?
So my question, because I feel like I've been struggling a little bit in regards to cold calling. So I think that the questions, like the whole like sales mastery process, I think is incredible. Every time I go through it, like I think back to like our conversation that we had. And but in regards to like cold calling, I'm sorry, when we first met. And in regards to cold calling, I feel like it's a little different because they're not expecting it. Like I set up a strategic call with you, so going through that process seemed more natural. So for cold calling, it just seems like when they're not expecting it, like how do you initiate that process? If that makes sense.
How do you initiate any relationship?
Hi, how are you?
Like think about a context in which you've met someone for the first time that felt really easy and comfortable for you, where you were the first person to speak, I'm thinking, like, I'm imagining you at a party or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, at a party, you kind of just like, I guess, like initially talk about, like why you're there or who you know or anything like that. And it kind of cascades down. I haven't been to a party in a while, so I have to think back.
I get it. But you've done this a lot in your life, like first day of school, first day of camp, like,
yeah,
you've had lots of moments, and I just know you well enough to know that you are not the one standing in a corner for the entire night.
No.
You definitely know how to talk to people.
Yeah. I think for me, it's just different when I'm trying to sell something, and maybe it's just in my head, but it's a little easier when you're going in and just having a conversation and getting to know someone than getting to know someone with part of the reason is because you're trying to get them to buy the thing that you're selling.
Well, okay, so I'm going to keep you in this other context where you feel more comfortable. When you're talking with someone, what's the scene that you have in your mind where you're super comfortable? Is it a party or something else?
When I'm talking to someone?
Where you feel comfortable?
I mean, I could talk about work. When I'm talking about food, I'm selling food, I'm pretty comfortable with that.
Even more I want to go more personal for you.
No. When I'm at tennis practice, I'm meeting new people. It's more.
Okay, let's talk about that. So when you go to tennis practice, do you see people like in a locker room or as you're I don't know, like getting your racket
on the courts? Yeah.
On the courts. So why are you talking to anyone when you're on the court?
Because it's a fun environment. It's getting to know the people that you're playing with. So there's more interaction and connection.
This is the same. So I'm going to say back to you what you just said. I want you to really take this in. When you are cold calling, you're doing it because it's fun, because it's interactive, because it makes the environment more enjoyable for everyone. Same. Okay. It's the same thing.
Okay. I get it.
The thing is, if that's not there, this is not a relationship that's going to work. Like, this is a prerequisite. I'm not trying to turn the cold call into a social call because it's not. But the way you show up, the ease that you show up, the freedom and joy and pleasure that you bring to your social space, I want you to bring that into your cold call space as that's the foundation. You're not doing anything that's not arising from there because that's the truth of who you are.
Yeah, that makes sense. So I guess in regards to the conversation, I mean, is it like, as far as cold calling, like if you're bringing that ease and bringing that fun into the conversation, you know, is it just like, hey, like I have this really cool thing, would you like to hear about it? Or like, how do you use
So
the
on the
initial
tennis
question?
court, let's go back to the tennis court.
Yeah.
Do you ever meet someone on the tennis court and then decide as you get to know each other to play a game?
Sometimes it'll be like after practice if we decide to continue to play. During,
You'll-
it's like the coach kind of controls everything. So.
Okay, but after the fact, you might have that conversation where you're like let's do more. Let's play a game together.
Yeah.
Okay, the same thing. Okay, you're getting into the conversation to do exactly the same thing. Like, who are you? What's important to you? What do you do in your life? Tell them why you're talking to them in the first place, which isn't actually to sell your program. You're talking to them because you were drawn to them for some reason. There's some reason you called them.
Okay.
When you're in a tennis court context, like you know that one of the many options for how you might go deeper together is to play tennis because you are there playing tennis.
Right.
So when you're in a cold call, you know that one of the many possibilities for where this call can go is that they will say, I want to totally come to your retreat. But that's not what you lead with any more than that's like, I still thinking about the party. Like, you see someone that you're attracted to and you go talk to them. And the first thing that you say is not like, hey, you want to go like, fuck? I mean, you can if you feel, but only if you're like, that's what's wanted in the relationship. Like, I feel the connection with this person so strongly that I know that not only is that what's wanted, but that's what's going to turn them on, is for me to skip all the other bullshit and just go straight for the gold. So that might happen in a cold call. You might call someone and just feel like this person like I'm meant to just put it all out there. Like, the reason I'm calling you is because I've geeked out on your Instagram. I've been internet stalking you. I know I want you here. What can I do to make it a yes? You can do it that way. But the point is that you need to be yourself, Rochelle. You've got to be yourself. You've got to come from that spirit of love and generosity that is the essence of you. Get to know the person on the other side of the phone. Ask them questions. Let them know you're interested in them. Learn about them. And then as you are, and this can take 30 to 60 seconds. It's not like do that for an hour before you lead into what you're really calling about. But part of what you're calling about is the connection. It's like, are we meant to do something together? I wonder what that is. I have in my mind that like probably we're meant to do this retreat together. But if I just impose that, that's not a relationship. So I'm just like, this is my interest. You know, I've been talking a lot about the relationship archetype. Mm-hmm. I teach this. This is like step 5 in the business building. And I picture this like a bridge. So a relationship, any relationship, think of it as a bridge. This is you. This is your person that you're talking to. And you're literally like, are we going to meet somewhere? Are we coming together? You don't have to. Right? And when you like you designing your retreat and then tweaking the flavor of your retreat, because you're like, oh, this relationship wants to change. In my mind, you're kind of building a bridge on which other people can meet you. That's what your business is. Your business is a bridge. As you have the conversation with a cold call, you're literally like, yeah, is this a person that I want to invite onto my bridge? Is this a person that wants to be invited? Is this like, oh, now they're kind of walking up the steps onto the bridge. Interesting. Do they want to come closer? That's true of any sales conversation.
Sure.
What are you getting from that?
I'm kind of like picturing like building the conversation. Like it makes so much sense. As far as building the bridge, or building the bridge of your business or conversation or whatnot, like that makes so much sense. And like, as they come closer, your conversations change, or your questions change a little bit in that regard. That makes so much sense. I guess like for me, so one of the things that I'm like hung up on, is like when I was listening to like your sales module, and it was like the first question is like, what do you want? Like, how do you reframe that in a cold call? Does that make sense?
Yeah. So I really like that we're not talking about the script. I just want to name that because we're about to shift a little bit. I want to name that because the script is not the key. Your alignment with yourself, your true generosity, that's the key. Okay. And there are some questions that can just be helpful. So one of them is, in a cold call, oftentimes it's helpful to actually start. There's like a little bridge question into the sales score that I teach. And that question is something like, can you tell me what's the biggest challenge that you're facing?
Okay.
That could also sound like, what's been the hardest thing for you about the last 3 months during the quarantine, during the escalating race conflict? What's right? So that brings them into a vulnerable conversation. You're still asking questions. You're still asking about them. It's still open-ended. They can answer any way they want, but you're starting, starting from a place of challenge. And then whatever it is that they say there, that is a very easy lead into. So like, what would you like to experience? What would it be like if that, what do you want instead? What would it be like if that changed today? What would be different? And that is that first question of what do you want? But also, I think that for you, again, I'm like, part of this is channeling in for you. I really think you can get into these conversations, do you, be you, and get into the question of like, I want to know what you really want in your life. Like, let's go deep right out the gate. Why waste our time? I'm not trying to waste your time. What are you trying to create in your life? I'm speaking as you. I'm a networker. I connect people to the resources that they need. I'm a curator. I'm a matchmaker, not necessarily for romantic relationships, but like for human resources. Tell me what you want in your life. Tell me what you're looking for. And you show up ready to serve them.
I like that.
And chances are your retreat is going to be one of the things that serves them. And if you feel that that's true, then you come in, like you offer that. So I thought we talked about this a little bit in advance, and I'm aware that we could have, and we might still choose to role play, but I don't actually think you need to, because you just need to do you.
Yeah, that makes
and do it a bunch.
Do it a bunch, yeah. So sometimes, and I don't know if a lot of other people feel this way too, or have experienced this, because you have so many, you as in the general population, not necessarily you, but maybe, have so many connections, let's say on like Instagram, right? You've connected with people, but you don't necessarily have their phone number. You're just like sending them a message, right?
Yep.
So would you have the same conversation via like text message or Instagram message or Facebook message that you would in person?
Definitely not. You want to get them into real time. I mean, we've been studying this. I got like professional development workshops back in the day, like 20 years ago, before any of these kind of text messaging apps existed, that talked about how 95 or 99% of our communication is not in the text. So when we email or write letters or whatever, there's just so much that's left up to interpretation. So I think that principle is true. We are actually more nuanced as a culture now. I think we understand each other more over text than we did 20 years ago. But I wouldn't waste your time there. It's a little like online dating. Like, just get into real interaction. So I'll share a story with you. Have been really inspired by some of the both men and women, all genders actually, particularly black-bodied influencers. And I've been like looking for on Instagram since we muted.
Mm-hmm.
I've been like, where I still have all these white people on my feed. Where are my fucking black people? Like so I've been looking actively, like looking for more people who inspire me that I want to follow. And as I've been doing that, I've been like, oh my God, I totally want to collaborate with this person. I want to meet this person. Like, this is not just I want to see them in my feed. I want to know them.
Yeah.
And so just this morning, I reached out to two of them, both of whom I felt, I had that kind of like intimidation feeling of like, what reason do they have to talk to me? Like, I've been geeking out on them, but I don't know if they have any reason to talk to me. White girl, right? Like,
yeah.
Who am I for them? That's my own insecurity. Move beyond that, take the action. Hey, I want to interview you. I want to know you. I want to do something with you. That's it. One line. 2 out of 2, I'm totally in. What's next? Okay, great. Next is that we schedule time to talk. That's it. It's so simple. Trust that people that you want to meet you in exactly the same way that when you're in a room and you feel drawn to someone, chances are there's something there. Trust that.
I've done that a little with the Can you hear me?
Now I can.
Okay. Sorry about that. Phone call came in and it like interrupts everything.
Pause for just 1 second. Judge, just one, because I can't see you, but maybe Shri can see you. No, we can't see you.
Either.
Oh, okay.
I'm not really sure why.
Let's have Shri take you out and bring you back in just to see if that fixes it. If not, then we'll just keep going on audio only.
Okay. Nope.
No, it's okay. So keep telling me because we're close here.
I've done that. I've done that a little bit. Trying to connect with different influencers for the retreat, or if they know of different yoga instructors or meditation teachers or anything like that. And like some people I think I've mentioned to you, like that have like a big following on Instagram. I'm like, I'm never going to hear from them. But I'm like, I'm going to do it anyway. And both of them actually like connected. And it was really wonderful. And one of them even said like, let's stay connected and potentially work together in the future. Yeah. So that was really great. I guess
use this and transfer it to your cold calls. It's the same thing.
Okay.
I'm coaching you around this, Rochelle, specifically because you are a people person. You're good with people. So this is the same thing. It's the same thing. Trust yourself. This is also, I teach this thing called the brain model. Let's see if I can do this in the size screen that I've got here. So the way that I picture this, actually, I can tell you briefly, this came from actually when I started coaching math teachers. And it was like I'd been teaching in front of 30 kids at a time all day, every day for 7 years. And then suddenly I was doing pretty much the same thing, slightly different content, but mostly I was still teaching math actually, but to adults instead of kids. But for like 2 months, I just felt like, I felt like a total beginner. And then at a certain point, something just like clicked. And I was like, oh, this is the same thing. It's just a different audience. They're adults. Technically, they're adults. They like fight the same way. They misbehave the same way. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. All that I know about being a math teacher is the same for working with a group of math teachers. So that's the reference point that I have here. Let's see. So here's my terrible drawing. This is the brain model. So imagine this is your social mastery. Rochelle, are you still with me?
Yep, I'm here.
It's full. You're incredibly powerful here. And over here is your cold calls. And coming onto this call, you were kind of like, maybe I'm you know, maybe I'm at this point, or maybe I'm at 0, but I'm not nearly as masterful here as I want to be. How do I get more masterful here? And my proposal is that you do not need to fill this up. You just need to build the bridge. This is a different bridge, but you just need to build the neural bridge connecting your social mastery into this new domain, and immediately this thing will fill. Trust that you already have the mastery you need. You're just connecting one neural network, just one.
And by connecting it, you're just essentially making a lot of cold calls to connect it.
Yes, that will help you. But this is my proposal to you is that this can be just like on. You can literally just connect it right now while you're talking to me by deciding, I know how to do this already. This is the same as talking with people on the tennis court. This is the same as socializing with people at a party. This is the same.
Okay.
What's the same? My heart's the same. My love for people is the same. My desire to help people is the same. My genuine curiosity about people is the same. My sensitivity to pick up on social cues is the same. This is the same.
Okay.
Trust yourself.
Okay. I got it.
Okay, great.
Thank you, Jessie.
My honor always, Rochelle. Such a good question. I'll see you soon.
I will see you soon.
That was magical.
Magically delicious.
Ready for the next?
Ready. Oh, you know what? As we're doing this, I just want to invite people, like in between questions, if you're watching on a platform, to share in the comments what you're getting from that.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm seeing Dawn's comment. Yeah. This is great. So that's really helpful. It helps me to know what's going on. It helps the people who are asking questions get a little extra energetic support for publicly bringing their question to the table. And it helps you guys in your witnessing to integrate what we're doing. So, right. And Shri, can you talk me through this tech question? Because I'm not sure.
It's inside of your audio settings.
In my system preferences?
In StreamYard.
In StreamYard. Do you want me to disable or not disable?
It should be checked.
Okay, I have now checked it.
Great.
Better?
Okay. Yes.
Okay.
You just might have to turn yourself up a little bit now.
Okay.
Okay, moving on. Yes. Next we have Laurie. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing her name right. Laure.
From France. Awesome. I love how many Europeans we get on this open forum hour.
That is quite phenomenal. I think the universe must know that we love Europe.
That's right. And we can't go right now. We would normally be in Europe right now. So yeah, bring Laure on. Let's do this. Hello, Laure. So nice to see you.
Yes. Oh, I was scared, but now I feel good.
Good.
So my question is, I love your image of the little bunny and the little teddy bear for my fear. But once you said something like, when I am in coaching, I focus on the other person and the scared teddy bear is for later. But how do I manage my scared teddy bear? Because I feel a huge urge for safety when I'm doing anything. And especially sales and especially coaching in front of people, it's something that triggers my fear of safety or unsafety. So how do I take care of it?
How did you do it just now? Because you just said that you were scared and then you got here and now you're not scared.
Now I'm still scared a bit. I don't know. I looked at you and that was fine.
What if you were to give language to the communication that happened between us when you saw my face? What words would you give it?
Like when you see a good meal, like when you're at the restaurant and the waiter brings your food.
So it looks appetizing.
Yes. And it looks made for you and it looks welcoming.
Very interesting. Shri just asked me to turn up my volume. This is all I can do, I think, Shri. Better? Laura, can you hear me fine?
Yes,
Okay.
as well as before.
Okay, great. So there's a couple principles. I'll just throw these at you. One that's really important to understand is that the goal is not to make the fear go away. It's to not let the fear drive. So this image that you have of the teddy bear or the bunnies or the small child that is frightened, it's fine that they're frightened. What do? It's fine with the 2-year-old that's frightened. It's fine with the 5-year-old that's frightened. It's fine with the 17-year-old that's frightened. It's just that they should probably not be driving the car of your life because you don't want them making decisions for you. Does that part make sense?
Yeah.
So they're like, you play, you know, you have them in your car and you just like, sometimes you pay more attention to them than others, and mostly they're, for the purposes of what you're working on right now, it's just not that relevant. You're going to get scared all the time. It's part of your mechanism. Your organism just scares you. It's very similar to bunnies, right? The bunnies, they're going to be scared forever. Doesn't matter how I never hurt them ever, they're still going to be scared. It's their biology. You don't take it personally. You with me so far?
Yeah.
So the second piece is that safety is not actually an important thing for you anymore. You don't need to be safe. As an adult, that's not an important characteristic. It was important in your childhood because you didn't know how the world worked. And so your parents, probably your caretakers, any adults in your life when you were a child, really enforced in you, like programmed into you, prioritize safety, because as a child, you weren't prioritizing safety and you would just make all kinds of decisions that would have consequences that you didn't conceptually understand. So they gave you this scaffold. Safety was a scaffold to help you grow up. But now you're grown and you can let go of the scaffold.
So when I feel scared for my safety, I can just like build a bridge and say, hey, safety is nothing.
It's not that it's nothing. It's just like, that's not what matters right now.
Okay.
You know, I can feel it coming up in you. So I'm just like debating with it already. It's like, I can literally come up with an argument that I could die from everything in my space. I can make up a story of death, fear, unsafety, no matter what. I'm really good at that. I think we all are. So in and of itself, that's not what's significant. That's what I'm trying to debunk the power of your safety priority. It's like, yeah, you can make the argument that you're not safe all the time. So what?
Yeah.
And so it might actually help you, Lar, to articulate for yourself why now, as you step more and more fully into your maturity, why safety is no longer the value system that you're going to use to make decisions. And that's not going to remove the sensation of fear. But it will completely shift how you see the fear when it arises. Where are you at right now?
Curious.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh, yeah. If there is no, like, if anyway safety is something I cannot control, yes, why bother about it? Yeah.
It's great. Yes, beautiful. There's a kind of surrender in that, actually. It's like you don't actually have to manage the fear. Let the fear be the fear. What's new?
It's I want to try it now to see how it feels.
What could you do right now with us live that would scare you? That would turn up the volume on the fear and that you could move through anyway?
Singing is the worst. I don't know. Ah, it's really scary to recognize I really want to be a coach.
So tell us about how much you love coaching, what a good coach you are, and how excited you are about what's coming next in your coaching expansion.
I really want to see what is in the box. And like for now, I know the box and I've picked into it, but I want to open it like it's my gift. I want to open my gift. And I want to gift it to other people. Like, you know, when you have spent a year growing trees and then you want to give the trees to people and to share the fruits on the trees. Like, yeah, I really want to share this part of me.
And you are.
That doesn't feel scary anymore.
Amazing. Beautiful. So play with that. One of the things that I have learned as I like to say that I use fear to guide me instead of drive me. So instead of putting fear in the driver's seat, I'm almost using fear as an anti-navigator. So when fear's like, don't go that way, I'm like, okay, I'll go that way. Like that wherever fear is pointing to and telling you to worry, that's probably actually a really good place to go. And what I notice is that the fear doesn't really change that much. Like I'll get scared today or tomorrow or sometime this weekend with just the same intensity that I did when I was 2, 10, 12, 17, 25. Like the quality, the flavor of the fear doesn't change that much. But where it shows up moves, right? So exactly what you just did, that will continue to happen. And you can start to use the fear as a sign of something to celebrate, that like, oh, I'm onto something now. Like fear only shows up when I'm about to like blast through something massive. Fantastic. Awesome. I can't wait. Let's do this.
Thanks.
Thank you. What a beautiful, beautiful share. Yeah, I just want to read out loud. Kaylin just said, such a valuable share, Lar, sending love and support. I've learned most modern fears regarding safety are social rejection and fear of being outcast. So what better way to reprogram that than to step into it, let us see you, and celebrate you. I've seen you coach. You're one of the few people that I've seen coach. I know how good you are.
Thanks.
Yeah. Yeah, see if you can feel the truth of what I'm saying. I know this is your gift. Not just because you're telling me. I have proof. I have evidence. Beautiful work. Congratulations getting here.
Thanks.
So excited to see what comes through you next. It's very important. Hey, Shafeli.
Hey,
Nice to see your beautiful face.
nice to see yours.
How can I help you today?
Yes, I have a question. Oh, my room is looking. Okay.
You know what? Before you start, I have a question for you.
Come
Are
on.
you on Instagram?
Yes.
What's your handle?
Shafeli Marie, I think. Yeah, Shafeli Marie. I don't know if I already changed it. But
Okay, well, so message our team. I want us to follow you and shout you out. We tried to shout you out this week and we couldn't find your handle.
oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you
Yes.
very much. All
Yeah.
right. So my question for today is, I wanted to know, because I tried to do some research on the internet, and I wanted to know what your take is on codependency and money issues, or the way you're handling money. And I'm asking that because I see a pattern in my life in how money shows up. And especially now, since I'm working with Yvonne and all
Congratulations.
coming forth. And there's a pattern that on one side, I'm keeping myself in debt, but not that much that it chokes me, but in a soft way. And the other side is that the money that comes in is not coming in through the work I am doing. It's always through other people, like funding I get for the film, funding I get for my art.
Well, I think that's different. Funding that you get for a film, like a grant, I think that's real money that you got. You can claim that. That's different. That's qualitatively, energetically different than like a loan that you have to pay back.
But it seems like it's the same. It's a different side of the same medal.
Maybe not.
But what's your take on codependency and money and debt? Do you
In
think
and of themselves, these are debt and the codependency in particular are separate energetics.
All right.
You can use money codependently. You can use money freely. You can create debt in codependently. You can create debt freely. Like all those choices are available. Mm-hmm. What I'm hearing in you is that you're ready for a new level of financial independence. Is that true?
Yeah.
So part of why I'm talking about the distinction between a loan and the grant is because I think it's really important that you claim your independence financially is already happening because you got this grant.
Mm-hmm.
The grant is part of that. Now, you want to also sign clients and make money as a coach and be able to buy your farmhouse.
Yeah.
Right? Like you have these visions. So that's an important piece. You want to be working toward that. And as you do that, you're going to create debt strategically or not as you go. Debt is when you're an entrepreneur, debt is an asset. And actually, I read an article recently that debt is used, like debt is an asset of the rich. And I had never read that before. I'd never thought about that before, but I'll just throw that little seed in there that actually debt is something that people with wealth use very freely because they know they're going to make the money and pay it off. It's a very different kind of relationship than the way that those, and I can include myself in this, like in the middle class and lower class experience debt as like a weight or a burden or this thing that kind of grows out of proportion and becomes a tyrant. Different thing.
Yeah, because now that you say it like that, it's very powerful because the why I am in debt is because I always had the knowing it's going to be fine one day. It's not like a heavy burden.
Correct. The independence that you're looking for, the freedom around money comes from knowing the truth of that story, not just saying it, right? It's not just talking the talk and like saying like, no, it'll be fine. If you have to go like this, la, 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 it'll be fine. It'll totally be fine. I don't have to worry about it. That's not it, right? But if your eyes are open, you're looking at the numbers and you're like, Okay, I got that debt. I want to pay that off. I want to expand in this direction. I'm going to use this debt that I have to prepare for this expansion. That's going to help me move along faster. And then, right? Like that's powerful.
All right. Yeah, if you say it like that. And I also did the ha 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 for a while.
We all do. We all do.
But yeah, the last few that I made was for expansion. Yes.
So make sure you use it for expansion. The codependency is if you go into debt and don't expand.
That's a good one. Yeah.
Beautiful question, Shefali. Nice to see you again.
Thank you.
Yes.
All right.
Beautiful work. Keep going.
Yes, I'm on it.
Yes, debt is an asset of the rich. Powerful, powerful article that came out in Medium. I think it's called 7 Things Rich People Do. I can't remember exactly the title. It's like things that they say they don't do, but they actually do, or things that they don't teach, but they actually do. I can't remember. And one of them is like they go into debt. They use debt strategically. Super powerful. All right, who's next? Yvonne.
Hey, hi.
Hi, beautiful.
Great. It's lovely to be here.
It is.
Yeah, it's very nice. And I love your lives with 3 there. I love it.
Thank you.
And the kirtan, I love it. I do it every evening and every morning when I go into the shower. It's like, oh, I sing. It's lovely. Thank you.
So beautiful. Thank you for telling us. Thank you.
Yeah. My question today is about human design.
Yes.
As a generator, they say you have to lean back, you have to wait to see the comments on your content, what you're sharing, and not really. And then you react on it, but I see you nodding.
Well, the specific that you went into, I'm not sure if that's a literal interpretation, but you might be right. But the point of the generator design is to respond.
Mm-hmm.
And what that looks like, to me, I feel like this is a koan. There's a real study to understanding what this is an energetic thing more than an action thing. Mm-hmm. What does it mean to respond? And with all human design stuff, my experience, my proposition, my understanding is that there's a wealth of abundance in each design. So expect that, look for that. Mm-hmm. With generators, what this means is that opportunities are going to come to you left and right. People are going to come to you. People are going to ask you to do stuff. They're going to give you ideas about things to do. God is going to give you ideas. Like the stuff is going to come at you. Your job, when we say it's your job to respond or you're designed to respond, what that really means is like your work is filtering of these enormous quantity of opportunities that are coming to me, which ones are actually a yes for me and which ones are not.
So it's more than
Exactly.
That's the thing.
So this is the piece that I think often, like the abundance piece is sort of the prerequisite in order to really understand the response. It's like in order for the to make sense, you have to assume, believe, trust, know, there's gonna be things to say or to. That's the part you don't have to worry about.
Now I'm experiencing it now, and I'm more at ease and looking what's coming to me.
Yes.
So it's a change.
Yes. And so going back to the social media context, you can use your generator response when you look at social media. I mean, actually, Sri and I were just talking about this, I think, yesterday. Social media platforms, Instagram in particular, and actually, I never really did too much online dating, but Tinder, Bumble, these apps that have you swipe, TikTok, very much. These are generator designed platforms.
Okay.
Because they're literally like, think about how much you could look at Instagram all day. It will never run out of content.
That's true.
You will never run out of things that you can like or flip. Right? That's the framework. So like use your generator response to take in media, to consume media, to see what you like and don't like. You can equally contribute to the conversation that builds your business by commenting on other people's posts as you can by creating your own posts and commenting on people who write to you. Same. So the energetics are what matter. Energetic 1, things are coming to me. Okay? People are coming to me, opportunities are coming to me, ways of making money are coming to me, ideas are coming to me, love is coming to me, all that stuff. 2, energetic 2, my only real job is to feel which ones light me up and say yes to those things, and feel which ones don't fully light me up and say no to those things.
You got it. Great. That's a nice one.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah,
we just talked about that with more precision than we've ever, like that. I've never heard that subject spoken about any more clearly than we just did.
Love it. Thank you very much, Tim.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Beautiful, Yvonne. Thanks for being here.
Thank you. Good. Bye.
Great question. And yeah, while Shree's coming back on, Dawn shared, thank you, the 7 things rich people advise but never do. That is the title of the article that I was talking about. We can maybe find the link and put it in the comments. But you can just search it that way.
Magnificent.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and this was in the private chat, but Rochelle said, I need to make a manifestor-focused app. And I think that's important in the human design conversation to just recognize that 70%, give or take, of the whole globe's population are generators. And so there's a huge cultural domination by the generator mindset. And projectors and manifestors and reflectors often don't get seen in the same way. They don't get their own image reflected back. And so it's just a useful thing to know. That wasn't so much for you, Shree. That was for the group.
Such a fun system.
Yeah.
To get to know, to get like a nice download as to how things work so that you can use it in service to your business, in service to your heart, in service to your forward movement, human design.
I have that experience for sure.
Yeah. Well, that was the last question, Ms. Johnson.
Amazing. What a fun time we had today. I love the comments that are coming through. Podcast Farm is like geeking out. Their mind is blown. I love that. So good. Love how we can make progress by commenting and interacting with others instead of creating new content. Yes, right? Isn't it a relief? That's my experience with any human design, and frankly, any deep truth, is that it's relieving. No matter how uncomfortable it might be, there's some embedded relief that it's just like, oh yeah, yep, that's what the truth gives.
Yes, indeed. The liberation of the truth.
Yeah. So upcoming opportunities, Shree, shall we talk a little bit about that?
Yes, indeed. That sounds great. Let them know where they'll see you next, Ms. Johnson.
So next, you'll actually see both Shrikala and myself. Tomorrow evening, we will be continuing our race, spirituality, and success conversations. And what's amazing is that tomorrow we're bringing in 2 of our clients, both women of color, to expand this conversation. So really, really excited. And those of you that join live just have the opportunity to ask questions in real time and participating in the conversation as it's happening. There's a transmission there. And then, of course, the replay will be available, especially for those who are on the East Coast or in Europe. You will probably not be awake when we're doing it. We do it at 7:30 Pacific. And so that's going to be really fun. Sunday afternoon.
About that one.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, super excited about that one. Just the opportunity to we have so much that we can share on this topic, and at the same time, there's a lot of messiness to drop into,
Yep.
just to allow the conversation to just happen. So it's going to be a fun and a deep dive experience. So.
It's been really quite inspiring and powerful for me to be in this conversation with you, in this relationship with you, in this life with you, as these subjects are coming more and more to the surface, and to just feel how already lined up we are. Like, we're refining, we're tweaking, we're integrating more, we're deepening. Things are changing, but we're not pivoting 180. The work that we do around money, the conversation about financial freedom, that is directly in service to racial equality.
Yep.
And so it's just I'm saying that in part because I want everyone who's tuning in here to understand that adding race as an explicit layer to these conversations isn't changing the conversation. It's like that was already there. That's already relevant, already in our minds. We're turning up the volume on that pillar, but it's present anyway. And so just stepping in, using everything that's happening to go deeper, using everything that's happening to serve more, not less, using everything that's happening to claim more truth, more ease, more love. That opportunity is there constantly. And frankly, heightened. I think there's more opportunity now than there's ever been because of everything that's happening in the world. Do you agree with that, Shri?
Yes, indeed. 100%. Everything you're saying is music to my ears.
So then on Sunday, you and I will be leading Kirtan, 4 p.m. Pacific.
4 p.m.
Kirtan is a meditative, musical, spiritual practice. It is at the heart of why Shri and I do what we do, how we are as successful as we are, what our missions in these lifetimes are. So it's definitely a very personal aspect of our practice.
Yeah. It also fortifies our relationship.
Big time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Elena Brower, I was on Elena Brower's podcast this morning. We recorded it. It'll be released in a couple months. But she said to me, Jesse, you and Shri, like the devotion that you guys have in your relationship is the most prominent, visible aspect of your whole relationship. Like, I see it. And so when you said that, Shri, I was just like, yeah, that's because we do Kirtan. That's where that comes
We're
from.
constantly chanting these really potent mantras.
Yes. So y'all are invited to join us for that too. Yvonne gave that a little shout out. She's been listening to that every day. And then we're back on Tuesday, another interview, Wednesday, another live, Thursday, another hour of insight. So almost every day doing some kind of live experience. So there's 5 days a week live experience. So tons and tons of support here for you. Our next virtual retreat will be July 10th and 11th. I think we have the registration page for that because Dawn had registered. So we'll throw that into the comments too. Now we have this early bird special, and everyone that's here should come. Like if you've been here for an hour, it means you should come, period, the end. So put those dates on your calendar, click the link, register, take advantage of this early bird pricing. $297, under $300 for 2 of the most transformational days you'll ever experience.
Yes.
More to come. Lots more to come.
Yeah, more to come. And for all those watching, we're all in this together. We're doing this work together. So it's so important that when you see these videos, share them. Let other people know. If you're watching the video and and someone pops into your head like, ooh, reminds me of this person, send them the video. That's your intuition speaking. And so putting the call out for all of those watching to share it, because this growth that we will experience is deeply connected to working together with you. So thank you for being here.
I really appreciate you saying that, Shri, because I agree. I think that one of the things that we as activists do is simply share the good news, share the good word, speak up for each other. So that's our constant call to action. If you think that there's someone we can help, send them our way.
Yes. Awesome.
Thanks, Shri. You're
Yeah.
amazing.
See you in a second,
Yeah.
because you're like right behind me.
Bye, beautiful people.
Blessings, blessings.